Hello everyone, my name is TimeTaking100 and welcome to the Okami Squadron channel. Today we're going to be talking about has sections in the command panels plugin. I am a moderator on the support team and I'm just going to do this tutorial to hopefully help some of you guys out and learn more about these values. These are very useful for when you need like perms. So if you want an item to disappear when someone doesn't have a perm or show up when someone does, maybe you want a rank shop, these all can be very helpful. So let's get right on in. Here in my panels folder, I have created a has section YML. If we edit this, all it's here is just its name tutorial, default perms, 6 rows. Don't exactly need that many, but all we're going to do is we're going to start with Hasperm. So all you have to do, Hasperm, make sure to only ever use spaces. If you ever use tabs, it'll screw up the YML and it won't load. But if you use spaces, only things you really need is Hasperm, perm. The perm part, you can put any perm you want. This will have to be linked with any perm plugin, or if you use the permissions YML inside your server, it'll work. But I'm going to be using luck perms because I'm used to it. So we're going to create something like, we'll do rank.iron. This is one I use all the time for examples. Now that you have your permission, the only other thing that Hasperm takes is an output. You don't have to have this. If you leave it out, it'll automatically be set to true, but you can set it to true or false. What this is doing is if it's set to true, it'll check if this permission is true for the player. If it's set to false, it'll check if the person does not have this permission. In this example, I'm going to be using output as true. Next, you will need material and name, whatever, just to make sure it's setting an item. So right here in this item, you have your material, how many is in the stack, and the name just by default. This we call the fallback item. Basically, if this perm is not true, then it'll show this item. If you have another Hasperm that has output of false, if both of those are true nor false, it'll show this item. I like to make sure I say error with it, but most of the time you won't need it. You'll just have to leave it as whatever it is. So for the rank.iron, I'm going to set a material, we'll do an emerald block. Now that we have that set, I give it a name of you have permission. Next, I'm just going to give it a lore real quick. And if you want, you can add some commands. There we go. So now that we have that, I'm going to change this to a barrier and make this say, you don't have permission. Now that that's set, make sure to save it. Now when we go in game, if we do /CPR to reload command panels, now if you do /CP, you'll see tutorial. If we edit it, it says we have the permission. This is because I am an op. Operators will always get permissions no matter what. So if you ever have a Hasperm, it'll always set to true if you're an op. So what you'll want to do is de-op yourself for testing just to make sure that it works properly. And all I have to do, CP tutorial, it'll say you don't have permission. If we click on it, nothing ever happens. Then if we give ourselves permission, I'm going to use console real quick to give myself permission. Since I'm using luck perms, I'm just going to do the basic command for it. There we go. Permission is now set. So if we go back in game and open the panel again, it now says we have perm. And if we hit click, it'll do whatever it said. So that's the basics of Hasperm. And now we're going to go into a little bit more advanced version of that. So let's go back to the YML. Now we're going to make it so that if you have rank.iron, it'll then check, let's say, for a higher rank. So this is used for rank setups. So for the rank stuff, we're going to make another Hasperm. This is nested inside of the last Hasperm. So it's on the same line as everything inside this one. You don't have to give it a number since it's inside. And we're going to do the same thing where it's perm, and we're going to do rank.gold. So what this is going to do is check if you have this rank. If you do, then check if you have a higher rank. This will make it so that you're not able to purchase, let's say, the same rank twice, or you want to make it so instead of saying you have permission, you can say that you have the next rank. So we'll do perm. I'm going to do output because I always put output just to make sure it's correct and I can understand my code a little better. Now we're going to do material, and we're going to use a gold block. After that, we'll give it a name of you have higher rank. Give it a lore. And we'll do command. We'll do console equals, say, golden. Now that we have that, we save it and go back in game. Open up the panel again. It says you have permission, you have rank.iron. When we click it, it says hello. Now if I give myself the next rank, so I'll do rank.gold. Now it's set. Once we're back in game, I have panel refresh on, so it automatically refreshes the panel after 1 second. And you can see it says you have a higher rank, and when we click on it, it says golden. So this is useful for when you're trying to check multiple things or trying to show that you have a higher rank compared to the last rank in a rank menu. Now what we're going to do is show how you can do a true or false value for if you have multiple perms, or say you just want to make sure that the code's working properly. Once we're back in the YML, what we're going to do is I'm going to leave this the same, and we're going to create another Hasperm on the first line. So we'll backspace, Hasperm, make sure you put a 0 or whatever numbers after this one. So in order, it starts Hasperm and then Hasperm 0. You always have to have a Hasperm with no number, or else it will not recognize that there is a Hasperm in your YML. So Hasperm, Hasperm 0. Then all you have to do is the same thing as normal. We'll do rank.coal. Actually, we'll do rank.iron. Can't spell today. Once you have that, I'm going to do output of false. And we'll give it a name. You do not have rank.iron. Lore. We're going to do a cost of 5,000. So we are going to make it so that we can purchase ranks in this menu. So what this is doing is it's checking if you don't have rank.iron. If you don't have it, then it's going to cost some money. How we're going to do this is in commands. We're going to add a paywall. What a paywall does is any command past the paywall, when you purchase or click the item, it'll purchase for 5,000. If you don't have 5,000, it won't let it work. So what we're going to do is console equals, we're going to do the luck perms command, and we're going to use the placeholder of CP player name. This gives the player name of whoever has the panel open currently. Then permission, set rank.iron to true. So what this is doing is checking if the player has 5,000. If they do, take it. If they don't run this next command. Once the next command runs, it'll give you rank.iron, and the panel will update to show that you have it. So I like to do with these kind of situations is, since I have a true and a false for rank.iron, I'm going to change this that says you don't have permission to error. We're going to use a barrier. That doesn't matter. And I forgot a material in here, so we're going to add a material to be a barrier. Now that we have this, let's go test it in game. Make sure you save. Go in game /CPR to make sure. Oh, I don't have permission, so I'm going to do it console real quick. Okay, now they're back in game. I've given myself 10,000 to play with, and now if we open the panel, I took away the perms, so it says you do not have rank.iron. It costs 5,000 to buy. When we click this, it'll purchase it. It'll update. Now it says we have rank.iron. That is very helpful for rank menus, or if you want to make it so they can buy a warp or some other command, you can use this to do it. The requirement for this is you have to have an economy plugin and Vault installed. This will make it so that it connects to whatever economy you have set and the paywall will work properly. For me, I'm using Essentials, which is super easy to do. You just have to have essentials installed and it works. So if we don't have money and we don't have the rank, I have taken both of my money and that away. So if we do /val, I don't have permission, never mind. So when we're in the panel, it says you do not have it, it costs 5,000. If we click, it'll say you do not have enough funds. This text can be changed inside of the command panel's config if you want to change it to say something else. I'm just going to leave it the same. So that's the basics of Hasperm and how you can use it to buy and sell ranks, all that kind of different stuff, and how to nest properly using output and all that. Hopefully this part was helpful. Now we're going to move on to Hasvalue. Back in the config, we're going to just leave all this the same. I'm going to make a new item. Remember not to use tabs at all. I'm just going to do an item on, we'll do the next row. So we'll do 13. So we're going to move on to Hasvalue. All this is going to do is it checks a value to make sure it is exactly the same as what you set it to. So we're going to do the same thing of a barrier. We'll give it a name of you are not, and take 100. So if we do Hasvalue, Hasvalue takes a value. So we're going to use my name, tiny tank 800. After that, now it requires a compare. Don't do a capital. And we're going to compare it with the placeholder cp-player-name. And what this is going to do is it's going to return the player's name in the panel. If it's tiny tank 800, then it'll show whatever's in the Hasvalue. So we're going to give it a name of you are tiny tank 800 lore click me. And we're just going to do the command of server equals, not server equals, console equals, say, hello tiny tank 800. So if we save that and we go back into game and we reload, now if we open the panel again, oh, I got an error. Could not load material. So if we go back to our YML and we check, I did not add a material to the Hasvalue. So if I add a material of emerald and save and reload again, you'll see the emeralds there now. It says you are tiny tank 100. If we click it, it'll say hello tiny tank 100. But if I change the value to something else, I'm going to use command panels for this example. Now you'll see it says you are not command panels. So Hasvalue is there to check if something is an exact number. There's not many use cases for this besides if you have a placeholder that gives a very specific value. If you're using currency, you'll want to use Hasgreater, which we'll get into next. But that basically does it for Hasvalue. It also has outputs same as Hasperm. All of them do if you want to use that. I'm not going to get into that today, and we're just going to move on to Hasgreater. So we'll go back to the YML, add a new item. Give it a material. We'll do a barrier as always. And we'll give it a name of you don't have enough money. Lore. We'll give it a lore of costs. We'll do 5,000 again. Now, what we're going to do is a Hasgreater. And a Hasgreater is kind of like Hasvalue. It requires a value of a number. So we'll give it 5,000. Compare. And we're going to use cp-player-balance. And what this is going to do is it's going to check with your economy what the player balance currently is. And after that, there's an output. If you want to use that, we're not going to use it. We're going to give it a name of you have enough money. Give it a material of an emerald block. And we'll give it the lore of cost 5,000. Add command for it. We're going to do the same thing of paywall equals 5,000 from before. And I'm going to do the same console command of giving you a rank. Actually, no, we won't. We're going to change it to say hashtag CP player name. Why did I say hashtag? Percent. Has purchased this announcement. And good enough. So save that and go back in the game. Reload it as always. Open it up again. It says you do not have enough money. If I give myself enough money, eco give, time taking 100, 5,000. Now that I have 5,000, if we open it, it says we have enough money and it costs 5,000. So if we click, it'll take it away. It'll do the announcement. And now it says we don't have enough money again. And when we click this, nothing ever happens. So that's the basics of Hasgreater. If you want to use this in combination with any of the others, you can create a good rank menu or shop or anything like that. I'm going to show you guys the example of the rank menu now. So we're going to go add on to that real quick. So back to the YML, down to our item 4. What we are going to do is we're going to make it so that where it shows that you can purchase it, we're going to check and see if the player has enough money. If it does not, we won't let them. So we'll add on to this. We're going to use Hasgreater. Going to use the value of 5,000, the compare of the player balance again. We'll leave that. Percent CP dash player dash balance. And then we're going to give it a name of you have enough money to buy rank.iron. Give it a lore of the cost. Cost 5,000. And then we're going to just take these commands and move them since we don't want them in this one where you don't have enough money. And we're going to put it here. Make sure to line it up with the commands. And we're going to change this to you do not have rank.iron and you need 5,000. I'll put cost 5,000. That'll all be the same. I need to add a material to this. So we'll add a material of barrier. Actually, we'll do iron ingot. Get rid of these quotes. I don't know why I put those there. Now that we have that, that should work properly. So if we save and go back in game, reload, do the tutorial, it says you don't have enough money and need the money. If we give myself the money, open it again, you'll see it shows an iron ingot and you can buy it. So we'll click, it buys it, gives me the rank, and now it says you have permission. So this is the more advanced way of creating a rank menu that'll check if the player has enough money. It'll take their money if you need it. It'll give them the perm. It'll show the perm that you have it. And if you have a higher rank, it'll show the higher rank. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial on Has sections. If you guys have any questions, I will leave the wiki in the description as well as a link to the Discord. If you want to ask for support, just ask there. There will be many people there to help. And if you have any troubles, you can also leave a comment. I'll get back to you guys whenever I can. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.